And welcome back. We're picking where we left off last time in the Long Dark on Interloper, where I believe we were in the middle of preparing for trade with Sutherland. So part of this trade is we need to get another 14 pieces of Firewood, another 114 pieces of cedar, and 20 kilograms of raw animal meat, as well as transport just short of 20 liters of water. That shouldn't be too hard to do. We popped in here at the end of the last one mainly as a good place to put a save. Think, if I remember correctly, the weather was decent outside. We may see if the weather is still decent. The loading and unloading may have changed that between this stream and last. But the weather is good. May proceed to work on the wood. If the weather is terrible, we may go fishing. And the weather appears to be reasonably decent. And if the weather is sort of in between the two, we'll probably end up going hunting. Basically the plan here. But the reasons for each of those decisions is if the wind is high, but the weather's not particularly bad, we can probably safely go around and attempt to hunt the bear. If the weather is terrible, we were reasonably positioned to go down to the fishing hut and start fishing. Because that'd be one way to get 20 kilograms of meat, is either fish or hunt the bear. Firewood, on the other hand, we need it to be reasonably non-windy. Otherwise, we'll get stuck in a situation of not being able to get the campfire warm enough. I think I have sticks in there. Yeah, put in the sticks in there. To do both the harvesting and such. Okay. Wind does appear to be reasonable, so we're able to make some progress with generating... Well, we don't necessarily need to generate this water, but we'll generate the water. Give our character something to drink while we work. Okay, with that, we've got another 6 pieces of wood. Got a slightly hungrier... Oh, I forgot to make water in the last patch. Whoops.
I'm not sure I can carry much more.
Slightly hungrier character. I do know where we can go get some water. Or get some food. So I'm not too worried about it. We're a little low on cooked fish, so that is maybe an argument to move down to fishing for a bit, is to have some stockpiled fish here. The other alternative is we can pick up some of food. And then that'll be food we have to cook. I got some oats down by the trade spot. Okay, I don't think there's any more limbs on this island. So let's drop off what we have. And I'll pick up some oatmeal. So we've got a lot of wood to gather, which isn't particularly difficult. And the beef of the food isn't that difficult. The raw meat isn't that difficult. It's get some raw fish or take down one of the bears. One of the bears will have more than 20 kilograms of meat on it. Because I think I'm more likely to locate the bear that spawned than find the moose. The moose would also have the meat on it. Either that, we'd have to hunt multiple things, right? It'd be multiple deer, or like 5+ wolves. That's a little less convenient. Oh, I don't have as many oats here as I thought I did. Okay, they'd be a little bit heavy, but we'll pick up stuff. Actually, we'll do a little bit of both. We got some oats, and we got some stuff to make bannock. Circling over something. So we've had something wash ashore here. Looks human. Won't know for sure until I get closer. As you can see, this is a place where we've had non-human things wash ashore. That's why we've got a campfire here for harvesting stuff. And nothing on the human corpse, which makes sense. That's pretty rare that we're going to have something on the human corpse. There's some stuff down there that we could probably make into firewood, but that's not what I really... Well, make into scrap firewood, which is not what we're looking for. We're looking for fir or cedar. So it's sort of the goal of getting the trading done this stream. The stream will be a little bit on the chill side as far as Interloper goes. We're not going to go out into any exotic places today. It'll mostly be putting around Coastal Highway. We may end up doing a little bit of beachcombing like we're doing right now. Something of spray paint, which we'll ignore. Is that a stone or a torch? Cattail head. Not what we're looking for. You can see the wonders of our high-quality equipment on a warm Coastal Highway day. Is we're actually warm in this current interlevel weather. Ooh. Some raw fish.
All this gear is slowing me down.
Sadly, this is ruined, so we can't trade this fish to Sutherland. But we can, if we get over to the fishing hut over there, cook it up for food, which is what my plan is to do right now. Toss up a couple sticks on the Barbie, get the fish cooking. And we'll head over to Jackrabbit. Assuming the weather continues to hold, try to harvest more wood on Jackrabbit. I do have the travois, so if we gather a lot of wood, we can always stick it in the travois to be a little bit faster of traversing. So we can avoid situations like we have right now, where we're slow walking because of weight. The problem I'm running into right now is the ruined fish is quite heavy. However, I can't put the ruined fish in the travois, so there's no point in putting the travois out, because otherwise I have to put things I don't really want to put in the travois in the travois. Okay, got the campfire going again.
Come on.
Let's torch out. We're not going to stay here long enough to warrant starting to fish, but it is nice to know that we've got some fish to cook. So that's 25 minutes on that fish. And of course, when you harvest cedar, you get some tinder plugs. We don't need the tinder plugs, but we have them. I'm going to pick up the jerry can, so the cooking oil goes into the jerry can. That's not exactly important. Just I want to fill the jerry can up a little bit with the oil we're generating. I may even put some of it in... In fact, I will put some of it. I'll fill the lantern up, and then what we cook goes in the jerry can. Oh, that's what I forgot to do. I was going to put water in the drop site as well. Whoops. And we cook the other fish. 21 minutes, we've got enough time on the fire. And you can see we pick up the fish and we harvest a decent amount of oil. Although we did still harvest less oil than we stuck in our lantern, I believe. I think we started with more lantern oil than we ended with in the jerry can. We'll get ourselves all the way full. We'll still have got a kilogram of fish to leave here, which is actually a pretty good thing. We'll hydrate up. And off to the next island. I'm surprised we're actually as heavy as we are. It's got me heavy. Bunch of sticks, maybe? Don't remember the Deroy being that heavy. Must be. Okay. Nope. No harvesting view. I got a bunch of coal on me as well. Oh, and yeah, the flour isn't particularly light. Flour and oil is not light. We're carrying a lot of food is kind of what's going on. It's mostly food that doesn't smell, so we want to attract timber wolves. When I suppose filling the lantern up probably made the lantern heavier. That makes sense. Fly over with the crows. Or we could harvest a scrap. Really important. Planks we can harvest some scrap. And the suitcase. The fact the suitcase is overlapped with the planks makes me think that one of these is probably a glitch.
What have we here?
Yeah. Not a complete waste to search the suitcase. I think, to be fair, I think the planks are a glitch. I think the planks were supposed to despawn. But due to the save spanning multiple patches, probably one of the patches changed up the spawn locations, and that's making it miss the despawn there. It's not a big concern. This just means there'll be planks there until we harvest them. It's not like they're really in the way or anything. Looking for limbs to turn into firewood on Jackrabbit here. Jackrabbit usually gives you at least a decent heads up if the wolves are around, because they'll jump the bunnies first. And yeah, between Misthanthrope and Jackrabbit, you can usually get a decent number of pieces of firewood if you're trying to guard the firewood for fishing. So I tend to drag coal down from the coal mine. Use the warmth from that to harvest limbs for fishing, and then I fish using firewood. Because firewood's very good for time, it's not very good for warmth. Conversely, coal is really good for warmth. It's not really good for time. Granted, it's a lot better than sticks are from a weight perspective, so if you need to bring a lot of time somewhere, it's still better than sticks. But you can pick sticks from the way, which you can't always do with coal. Let's make some water while we're here. A little bit of time. I think I saw one more log over here. Or limb. Yeah. And we can harvest if the weather was still good. I'm going to take a moment to do a little bit of cooking here. Let's fire before we move over to the next one. Let's make a round of bannock. And a round of... You know, I'll just be happy with a round of bannock, I think. I will value the oats a little bit more for their warming up bonus, so I'm not going to go chow down on those unless I'm really interested in getting some calories. Or unless I benefit from the warming up bonus, which, because we've been sitting next to a fire for an hour, is not actively the case. Ooh, this one might actually be a little bit hard to gather. No, we can get a flat enough portion. We'll make a campfire, put enough fuel in the campfire, do the same sort of water trick we did last. By having the stick, we give us a little bit of time to make sure the fire's up to temp. So this is a 7-degree fire, which is getting us to 4 degrees, which is probably enough to safely harvest the cedar limb.
The sun's setting. It's gonna get a lot colder soon.
Actually, no, I still want that pot out. We got enough time. I don't need the water, so we'll pick up the cooking pot. Go ahead and make one more round of bannock. That's one way to save some weight, because we'll consume the cooking oil and the flour. What was that? That was my last whetstone I had on me. Interesting. Not a problem. It just means I can't sharpen as frequently as I was previously. We'll find more whetstones.
Starting to weigh me down.
Yeah, he's getting a little heavy with all the stuff we've got. We'll duck into the house here, drop a little bit of weight, and then we'll go over to the trade location, drop off more there. And drop off these tinder plugs. I've already got a tinder plug pile there, so that's a good place to drop them. Gotta fly over. So one of the ways we're going to save weight here is I'm currently carrying a green birch sapling, so we'll drop that off. We don't need to be carrying that around with us. Get the soft bitter patter of a rabbit. Okay, come in here. Drop this green one off so it starts to cure. Well, I probably have more fabric on me than I need. This is not a good place to drop the fabric, though. This is a decent place to drop the whetstone. Anything else I want to leave behind while we're going along?
This gear's starting to slow me down.
I think the answer is no. Okay, we saved a little bit of weight, which will make us travel a little bit faster. Not going to make a big difference. And at least until I think the respawn mechanics kick in and put in some more branches. We don't really have any more to harvest out here on Jackrabbit and Misthanthrope. We'll have to go inland, coastal highway. There's a lot more inland than there is outland anyway. This means we won't be quite so close to where we're dropping it off. And I'll have to do a little bit more with predators. Usually there's no predators quite this close to the surf. But when we're harvesting closer inland, there'll be more likely to be predators. Although that's something that we can also take advantage of, because I need to acquire some meat for the trade. We got 20 kilograms of meat that we need to acquire. So acquiring meat in the form of hunting a predator would not be world-ending. Be quite productive.
Feels like a lot of gear.
What I might do in preparation doing some fishing is we'll go ahead and leave. I don't really need this many sticks. The coal we're carrying is probably enough to start up a fire for wood harvesting, and we'll just gather more sticks as we see them. So I'll leave the big pile of sticks at the fishing site here. Kind of slim the load down a little bit, get us a little bit more traveling speed. And as we're hunting for firewood in the interior, we'll probably find more sticks anyway. Or make it from harvesting torches, as I frequently do. Don't think I got much space in the cabinet, however, for it. That one's full of coal. That one's not quite full of coal. Could probably put some in there. We got some in here. Want like 2 for safety. Okay. So that's what we'll take. And again, that helps us go just that little bit faster. It's not super important. The weather's decent, so we can take our time. Oops. Threw the torch by clicking the right mouse on accident. Slow and steady while we have nice chill time down here in Coastal Highway. Gonna go drop another 6 of... Well, it was 114 when we started the stream. It'll be 102 once we do this drop-off of cedar firewood. I think if we do this drop-off, we will head back to the garage. And then once our character has slept through the night, we'll begin... Well, it depends on the weather. Early morning we might do hunting, because it'll probably be a bit on the cold side. We did get some pretty decent up conversion on the logs, as we basically pay like an hour worth of fuel per 3 logs, per 3 firewood, and the firewood's worth like an hour worth of fuel each, so it's converted 1 hour of fuel into 3 hours of fuel. Which, in a way, tells you just how expensive this trade is. This is 60 hours worth of campfire fuel. And now we're much, much more healthy on the weight. We'd literally be there if we weren't tired. That's a deer. That wouldn't actually be the worst thing to hunt right now, but we're not going to. At least not going to until drop. Got some... We're going to drop the film here. No, we want to drop all the film. I find it a little bit weird that you can split it up per photo. You can drop a single photo worth of film, which you wouldn't really be able to do in real life. Where did the deer wander off to? I don't know, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's head back to the garage. A little bit of slope here is usually safe enough to go down, so I did. We have killed the bear on the ice here fairly recently, so the fact I don't see or hear it probably indicates the bear is still down. Or we lose the torch. Let's replace the torch. Off to the garage we go. This low visibility weather is probably not good weather for bear hunting. It might be okay weather for gathering a little bit more firewood. So if we see some firewood on the way into the garage, or on a short detour into the garage, we may take the moment to harvest it. In the in the morning when we obviously don't have the lit torch. If the visibility is a little bit higher, we'll probably try to hunt the bear. There are 3 bears in Coastal Highway, or at least in my Coastal Highway. One behind the garage, one on the ice in front of the garage, and one on the river. Last I checked, the river one and the ice one are dead. Whereas the one behind the garage we haven't killed recently enough for it to stay dead. We have killed it before, it just hasn't been fairly recent. So it's come off a respawn timer and it's back up. Although that one's probably one of the trickier ones to safely hunt. Cedar limb. Convenient campfire. We'll go ahead and start up a fire here. Don't have enough sticks to do it entirely by sticks. We'll have to lump a piece of coal in the fire, but that'll be fine. We've gotten 5 specifically for that purpose. And this map has access to a coal mine, so if we're desperate for extra coal, whoops. If we were desperate for extra coal, we could go to the coal mine and then pick up as many as we could carry. But for the trade today, we need something not made of coal. So we can't just acquire a ton of fuel value in coal and call it a day. We need actual firewood. You're keeping your character well fed by making bannock. Which is probably a good use to all of the flour. As much as I gathered a bunch of flour with trades, I have at some point realized that it's very heavy relative to its calorie value, so unless we're doing something like rosehip pie, we don't really need that much. And even rosehip pie doesn't go through that much, so you don't need a lot. And I have a lot more than I need as a side effect.
I wonder if I can drop any of this gear.
Okay, there's another piece out there. The weather's pretty good, so I'm tempted to go harvest that one as well. A little bit of a detour from going straight to the garage, but that works out perfectly fine. Oh, there's some more.
I'm gonna need to rest soon.
Ooh, I might be able to get a twofer here. Assuming the weather holds.
Come on.
Piece of coal in the fire. A liter of water per pot. And we pick one. Ours with the axe. Collect water. We have to make sure we have more than an hour on the fire, and we do. So make some water. Harvest the second one.
Heavy.
Yeah, he's not wrong, his pack's a bit heavy. Okay, and we got enough time in the fire. I think we can go ahead and make one thing of bannock. To recoup the calories you're going through chopping up these logs. There is another one. And the weather is... we're gonna hold off on this one because we're a little fatigued. Though the weather's good. I'm gonna take the risk. We're gonna harvest one last one here. And then we'll really be crawling into the garage at this point.
Turned out pretty well.
Oh, and I can make some water as well. Water's not going to help with being well loaded for the trip, but I can always leave the water behind. The water's not going to despawn on us.
I'm so tired, I could just lay down right here.
Make some bannock. Yeah, let's make... Yeah, well, let's make the bannock. And then let's go ahead and harvest some of the lesser torches. It's probably fun if I take a little bit of condition damage here from fatigue, simply because we're going to get so much of it back when we sleep. Probably the biggest concern with being up as late as our character has been is we're going to sleep through most of the day.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Yeah, if our destination wasn't basically inside, I'd probably want to drop some of this material. I may still drop some of this material. I don't like the increasing sounds of high wind. Especially if it's blowing in our face. Yeah, let's find a convenient spot. Don't need to actually, for the moment, let's drop the water. You know what, let's actually go ahead and drop all the cedar firewood. That gets us reasonable weight for actually getting into the garage. We can always come back with the travois. We have the travois, so we can come back and pick it up in a bit. By a bit, once the character's done sleeping. The character really deserves his 10-hour snooze. One thing I want to check before we have the character go to sleep is, do I have any firewood here? No, I got a bunch of sticks, but no firewood. At least none inside. Okay, now I don't have any sharpening stones here. I do have a bunch of sewing kits on me that we don't need, so let's actually drop a couple here. Don't need to hauling around with our entire collection of sewing kits. Yeah, it looks like our character will be waking up a little bit late today because of how late we stayed up. I think that will be fine. I'm going to go ahead and finish harvesting the rest of these tools, or the rest of these torches, and then we're going to go ahead and give the character a 10-hour sleep. Well deserved. If you're watching on YouTube, we're going to go ahead and, well, if you're watching on YouTube, there will be a part up tomorrow. If you're watching on Twitch, we're going to go ahead and take a short break here with the character taking his well-deserved 10-hour sleep. The goal with these episodes is to have them be 30 to 40 minutes long, and we're coming up on, well, we just passed the 40-minute mark, so there's a good place to put a part break in, so we're taking a part break. If you're watching, and because if you're watching on Twitch, this is going to be a short break. It's going to take a moment to check on the family, sip a little bit of tea, and then we'll get right back to recording. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, there'll be a part up tomorrow, because we're going to continue recording. There's going to be 3 more recording portions in this stream. So until next time, I wish you all the best of luck and a good time. Catch you all in the next part. And bye for now.